Hi there, Corey. Thanks for the response, and this is a response to your response. I thought your response was really great, actually. I mean, it's misinterpreted pretty much everything of my motivations, but that's absolutely fine. That's internet, isn't it? But yeah, it's great. I really enjoyed the video a lot. Several things about it. I mean, first off, your attribution of your motivations, and something that Karen said, to be serious, said in the comments to my video as well, to do with subtext. There's no subtext, and I'm not trying to get you to do anything. I glanced across at the DOSBook videos, but to be frank, I don't understand what he's talking about. I don't know whether he's brilliant or stupid. I really genuinely don't know. I'm way out of my depth with what he's referring to, and they're just too long for me to concentrate on. I've got too much out. So I'm not really involved in that, so it's nothing to do with that. And the thing at the end you say about me trying to imply hierarchy or something, no, I don't have that. I'm not as Machiavellian as that. Perhaps I should be. I can sympathise with where you're coming from, I think, in a lot of cases. And, because I enjoy most of your videos, not all of them, of course, and I know you don't enjoy many of mine, and some of them I dip into, watch a few minutes and then come out of. We all have different kind of readership styles, don't we? So, but I do enjoy your presence here, you know what I mean? I really do, Corey. Because obviously you and I have similar day jobs, which means that we have similar schoolings, which means we have similar reference points to how information works and how knowledge works. And it is nice to have recognisable discourse with some individuals of that kind. You know what I mean? I mean, I enjoy all the discourse I have. Every single person I interact with, I enjoy for all kinds of different reasons. Obviously, I wouldn't interact with them, but you are very particular in that, and I wouldn't wish to sacrifice that. And I hope you don't bugger off and leave us here in YouTube to wallow in our own stupidity. But no, the reason why I'm picking up on you, and I wanted to, and it probably did sound like a provocation, probably more provocative than I intended, but I think that's fine. I mean, you did seem to be saying in that video, or bemoaning the fact that YouTube didn't have the rigour of certain branches of academic practice, particularly what it means to respond. That seemed to be what you were saying. To listen to a person's words, to understand their argument, to be able to repeat their argument, and then to be able to do something with it, critique it, add to it, elaborate it, undermine it, connect it to something else, whatever else you want to do with an argument. So you were bemoaning the fact that doesn't happen. It just seemed slightly unfortunate that you'd chosen to not do that in this particular case. You'd chosen to use TJ's video, citing Paul Zigo's video, as a jumping off point. Now, I personally have nothing against jumping off points. I do that all the time. Your videos I've used as jumping off points, other people's, I do it all the time. In fact, I very rarely do the academic thing that you're talking about, which is taking someone's argument, iterating it, and then critiquing it. I very rarely do that. I do exactly what you did there, which is the jumping off point thing. And I think that's a perfectly valid creative strategy. It isn't necessarily rigorous academic strategy. I think it's doing something different. But I just thought it was unusual that you would use that strategy in a video which seemed to be critiquing that strategy and arguing for a different strategy. So that was my only point there. But also, and there was another point to it, which I guess I didn't realise until I was about halfway through, really, when I kind of changed the topic to talk about TJ, which was, because in your video, you'd, as I say, you'd been kind of bemoaning online culture and the absence of the kind of rigours that publishing and book culture brings, which I agree with. Books are fantastic. I've read bloody thousands of books just like you have, and I know what you're talking about there. But at the same time, there are advantages. Or this is a nascent medium, and you and I and all the rest of us here are involved in trying to find what are the strengths and weaknesses of this media, and can we do something with it that is interesting, that does approach, not duplicate the rigour of book culture, but does something different that is equally interesting. For example, use other people's platforms as jumping off points. So just taking that on, I mean, what occurred to me whilst I was speaking, excuse me, is that one of the things that books are terrible at, you may disagree, terrible at, is responsiveness. Books are hopeless as responsiveness. The book that you got, the Optical Media, I don't know when it was published, it's relatively new, isn't it? But I don't know when the guy wrote it. It's got to be, several years ago, because you know how long it takes to write a damn book and how long it takes to go through the publishing cycle before it gets into somebody's hands. Now, if you wanted to make a response to that was paralleling the media in which it existed, a proper published response, so that it sits alongside it, you would have to find the passage, you would have to write the article, you'd have to find a suitable outlet for it, you'd have to put it through peer review. 18 months later it might come out in a journal somewhere and be read by 200 or 300 people, and maybe exist as a citation in someone else's piece of writing beyond that. Terrible responsiveness, hopeless responsiveness. The medium that we're in here, the YouTube medium, terrible for all kinds of different things, very good at responsiveness. You can say something and an hour later I can be doing this, what I'm doing right now, make a response with complete media parallelism. You know what I mean? Exactly the same platform, the same real estate, the same time frame, the same bloody video camera, whatever. But there is media parallelism, which isn't to say there isn't hierarchy, of course, I understand all that. But at least there is that parallelism and swiftness of response. I can call you on things, and you can call me on things, and we can respond however we wish. And that's an advantage, and it's an academic advantage, it's a knowledge gathering, distribution, dissemination advantage, all kinds of things. So I just think, if we are decrying academic rigour associated with this media, let's do that at the same time as being positive about the opportunities it does provide, which is, at least in this case, responsiveness. And responsiveness in different kinds. I mean, you mentioned these videos, which I guess you call art videos, which I guess they are. I can't think of another word myself. The rabbit videos and the shit I've been making lately. I mean, one of the things I really like about YouTube, and I'm sure you do as well, because you used to do those juggling videos, and it's a shame you don't do them anymore, is that people can respond in all kinds of different ways. I mean, you and I speak the language of academia, so we know how to do that stuff if we need to. But many people don't. Many people don't want to. Many people are extremely articulate in ways that I am not, and Dosbuk might be one of those people, I don't know. But other people are. Other people I know on YouTube are very articulate in ways that I don't have a grounding in. And those people can respond, and those responses have media parallelism too. So if someone doesn't like my video, yes, they can respond in the medium of expressive dance. And I might think it's shit, but someone out there might not. There might be a readership for that kind of response, and I think that's absolutely valid. So yeah, that's all I got to say, really, Corey. It probably did sound a bit aggressive, and I certainly didn't want to come across that way. But as I say, I value what you're on about here, but let's not gloss over the advantages whilst doing this other thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, that'll do for now, I think.